Once upon a time, in a bustling village called Sunyani, there lived a woman named Akosua. Akosua had a son named Kofi. Kofi was a kind and gentle young man, and everyone in the village liked him. He had recently married a beautiful and kind woman named Akosua. Yes, we will continue our wonderful stories on our channel. Don't forget to like the video to support us. We would love for you to subscribe to the channel. Akosua and Kofi were very happy together. They laughed, cooked together and helped each other with their daily chores. But Akosua was not happy with their marriage. She felt that Akosua was not good enough for her son. She wanted Kofi to marry someone else, someone richer and from a more important family. Akosua started spreading rumors about Akosua. She told the neighbors that Akosua was lazy and did not take good care of Kofi. She also told Kofi that Akosua did not respect her as his mother. Slowly, these lies began to affect Kofi. He began to believe his mother and began to treat Akosua differently. Akosua was very sad. She could not understand why Kofi had changed. One day she decided to talk to Kofi about it. "Kofi," she said, "why are you acting like this? Have I done something to upset you?" Kofi sighed and said, "My mother says that you do not respect her and that you do not take good care of me." Akosua was shocked. "But Kofi, I have always respected your mother and taken care of you. I love you very much." Despite Akosua's words, Kofi could not stop listening to his mother. He became distant and cold toward Akosua. The villagers noticed the change and began to worry about the once happy couple. One day, Akosua decided to visit her grandmother, Nana Essie, in a nearby village. She hoped that Nana Essie could give her some advice. When Akosua arrived, she told her grandmother everything. Nana Essie listened carefully and then said, "My dear Akosua, love and truth will always find a way. Be patient and kind and the truth will come out." Meanwhile, back in Sunyani, the villagers began to see Akosua's true face. They noticed how she always spoke ill of Akosua and tried to control Kofi's life. The elders of the village decided to talk to Kofi. "Kofi," they said, "we have known you since you were a child. We saw how happy you were with Akosua, but we also saw how your mother tried to ruin your marriage. You need to open your eyes and see the truth." Kofi was confused. He loved his mother, but he also loved Akosua. He decided to visit Nana Essie to seek her wisdom. When Kofi arrived, Nana Essie greeted him warmly. "Kofi," she said, "you must listen to your heart. Remember the love that you and Akosua shared. Do not let anyone come between you." Kofi thought about Nana Essie's words all the way back to Sunyani. He realized he had made a mistake in not trusting Akosua. He decided to set things right. Just as Kofi reached home, he saw Akosua returning from her grandmother's village. They ran up to each other and embraced. "I'm sorry, Akosua," Kofi said. "I should have trusted you. I promised to make things right." Akosua smiled with tears in her eyes. "I love you, Kofi. We will get through this together." But her happiness was not to last. Akosua was not ready to give up. She had a plan, a dangerous plan that she was sure would keep Kofi and Akosua apart forever. And this plan would have consequences she could never have imagined. Akosua was furious when she saw Kofi and Akosua together again. She felt her plan slipping away and decided to take drastic measures. She went to a nearby village where an old woman named Mamiya lived. Mamiya was known for her mysterious powers and her ability to cast spells. "Mamiya," Akosua began, "I need your help. I want you to cast a spell to separate my son Kofi from his wife Akosua." Mamiya looked at Akosua with her piercing eyes and asked, "Are you sure this is what you want? Magic has its price, and once done, it cannot be undone easily." Akosua was determined. "Yes, I am sure. I want them separated forever." Mamiya nodded and agreed to help. She instructed Akosua to bring her a few things: a lock of Kofi's hair, a piece of Akosua's clothing, and some herbs from the forest. Akosua quickly gathered everything and returned to Mamiya. The old woman mixed the items together, muttering strange words under her breath. Then she handed Akosua a small vial filled with a dark, bubbling liquid. "Pour this into Ajoa's food or drink," Mamiya instructed. "It will cause them to quarrel and fight until they can no longer stand each other." Akosua took the vial and hurried home. She was determined to carry out her plan. That night, she sneaked into Kofi and Ajoa's home and poured the liquid into the soup Ajoa was preparing for dinner. As Kofi and Ajoa sat down to eat, Akosua watched from a distance, eager to see the effects of the spell. At first, nothing seemed to happen. But as the night wore on, Kofi and Ajoa began to argue. Their voices grew louder and angrier until they were shouting at each other. Ajoa was confused and hurt. "Why are we fighting, Kofi? What is happening to us?" Kofi, equally confused, shouted back, "I don't know, but I can't take it anymore." Their once happy home was filled with tension and anger. Akosua felt a twisted sense of satisfaction as she watched them from the shadows. What Akosua did not know was that Mamiya's spell had a hidden consequence. The dark magic began to affect not only Kofi and Ajoa, but Akosua herself. She began to experience terrible nightmares and strange occurrences in her home. Objects would move by themselves, and she heard eerie whispers at night. Akosua grew more and more frightened as she realized that the spell she had cast was turning against her. One night, as Akosua lay in bed, she saw a shadowy figure at the foot of her bed. It was Mamiya. "You were warned," the old woman said in a cold voice. "Magic comes with a price. You have brought this upon yourself." Akosua begged, "Please, Mamiya, make it stop. I can't take it anymore." Mamiya shook her head. "You must pay for what you have done. Only when you truly understand the pain you have caused will the spell be broken." The following days were a nightmare for Akosua. She could find no peace, and her guilt grew with each passing day. She saw the toll her actions had taken on Kofi and Ajoa. They were unhappy, and it was all because of her. Desperate to undo the damage she had caused, Akosua decided to confess everything to Kofi and Ajoa. One evening, she called them into her home and, with tears streaming down her face, told them the truth. "Kofi, Ajoa, I am so sorry for what I did," she cried. "I wanted to break you up and I went to Mamiya for help, but now I see how wrong I was. Please forgive me." Kofi and Ajoa were shocked and angry at first, but when they saw the genuine remorse in Akosua's eyes, their hearts softened. "We must find a way to break this spell," Kofi said. "We must go to Mamiya and ask for her help." And so Kofi, Ajoa, and Akosua set out to find Mamiya, hoping to find a way to break the spell and restore peace to their lives. Little did they know, their journey would be filled with challenges and surprises that would test their strength and unity. Kofi, Ajoa, and Akosua traveled through the dense forest to find Mamiya. The journey was long and difficult, but they were determined to set things right. They finally reached Mamiya's hut, and Akosua knocked on the door. Mamiya opened the door and looked at her with a knowing expression. "I knew you would come back," she said. "Are you ready to face the consequences of your actions, Akosua?" Akosua nodded. "I am ready, Mamiya. I understand now how much pain I have caused. Please help us break the spell." Mamiya led them inside and instructed Akosua to sit in the middle of the room. She lit candles and began to chant, calling upon the spirits to lift the curse. The room filled with a strange light, and Akosua felt a heavy weight lift from her heart. After a while, Mamiya stopped chanting and looked at Akosua. "The spell is broken," she said. "But remember, the pain and suffering you have caused cannot be erased. You must work hard to rebuild the trust and love you have destroyed." Kofi and Ajoa hugged each other, feeling the anger and tension melt away. They turned to Akosua, who looked at them with tearful eyes. "I am so sorry," she said. "I promise to make amends and be a better person." Kofi smiled and hugged his mother. "We forgive you, Mother. Let's move forward together." Ajoa nodded and held Akosua's hand. "We can heal and become a family again." The three returned to Sunyani, and Akosua worked hard to prove her sincerity. She helped Ajoa with her chores, treated her with kindness, and showed Kofi that she supported their marriage. Slowly, the village began to see the change in Akosua, and harmony was restored in her family. From that day on, Akosua never forgot the lesson she had learned. She understood that love and kindness are more powerful than jealousy and pride. She also realized that trying to control the lives of others only brings pain and suffering. Moral lesson: always trust and support those you love. Jealousy and control can destroy relationships, but love, understanding, and forgiveness can heal even the deepest wounds. Be careful of your actions, for they can have lasting consequences. We've come to the end of this story. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to tell us your favorite parts of the story in the comments. We love you all. Goodbye.